Easter's in full bloom at Whole Foods Market with great deals on spiral cut bone-in ham and leg of lamb, both crowd pleasers. Round out your spread with quiche, deviled eggs, and delicious catering platters from Prepared Foods. Oh, and remember to pick up a Whole Foods Market bunny cake from the bakery. Strapped for time? They cater too, with delicious options available without the effort. Find hundreds of Easter deals and delights now at Whole Foods Market.
Hello and welcome to Bytes of Health, where we hope to take a bite out of your parent worries each day with sound advice and guidance. Every morning, we'll answer a commonly asked pediatric question in 5 minutes or less. I'm Dr. Jess Steier, a public health scientist, and today I'm joined by a guest pediatrician bestie, Dr. Rachel Georgopoulos, who is a pediatric ENT physician and director of the Pediatric Thyroid Hope program at the Cleveland Clinic. She also attended medical school with my husband, so this is a very special episode for me. All right, so today we are going to talk about tongue ties. The clock is ticking, so let's get to it. All right, Rachel, how do I know if my child has a tongue tie? What are some of the signs?
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for having me on. So the way we diagnose tongue ties is through a physical exam. Most of the time, you can tell that or you have suspicion that there is a tongue tie when there's issues with latch, pain with breastfeeding. A lot of times breastfeeding in and of itself can be painful, but exquisitely painful breastfeeding and difficulty with latch are our most common indicators. And then it's actually just looking underneath the tongue. A lot of times I'll tell providers that they can sweep their finger underneath the tongue. And if they can't, if they meet resistance with that tie, that's how you can diagnose it. Or if a child can't stick their tongue out past that lip border.
So you already kind of touched on this, but can a tongue tie affect breastfeeding as well as bottle feeding?
There's not good evidence that it affects bottle feeding. There's a lot of different nipples and ways that we can feed children with the tongue ties, but it can affect breastfeeding, particularly with latch.
All right. So could a tongue tie cause speech problems later in life? What are some of the things that we might be concerned about?
So this is actually quite controversial. I will tell you that a lot of kids are able to compensate pretty well, even if they have a tongue tie, and can manage with some speech therapy, and some kids don't even need it. But there is some children that I take care of who do have issues with speech articulation and tongue tie, particularly words like the TH sound, sounds where you need a lot of mobility of the tip of the tongue. So the tip of the tongue in those words will reach the roof of your mouth. And if you can't do that, you can have some issues with pronunciation. And so we can see issues with that. But the literature is actually pretty poor for speech.
Interesting. So is there a non-surgical way to manage a tongue tie?
Yeah. So if particularly if you're talking about things like speech therapy, if you're talking about breastfeeding, sometimes working with your lactation consultant or using a nipple shield can help, overcome issues with the tongue tie.
So what is the surgical procedure like to release a tongue tie?
Yeah, in children less than 3 months of age, I will clip a tongue tie in the office. So we will swaddle the child in the office. Oftentimes I just give a little bit of sugar water. I use a scissor to snip it. We hold a little pressure and I just have the mom breastfeed in the office. It's a pretty quick procedure. After 3 months or when children start to get bigger or have teeth, it is a procedure that requires general anesthesia in the operating room.
All right. Well, I learned something. We hope you learned something, and we have lots more to share. You can get your Bite of Health every day, Monday through Friday. If you like what you've heard here, let us know. Leave us a review on Apple and be sure to tell your friends. Remember, there is no single or best way to parent. Parenting is a journey, and we are all just doing our very best. We wish you happy, healthy, and stress-free parenting.